When ASUS first unveiled the Zenbook Duo a couple of years ago, it was dubbed the laptop of tomorrow, with a revolutionary second screen on top of its keyboard, letting you do things previously not possible on a laptop computer. That laptop is currently in its third iteration, and like any product that is refined over time, it is so much better than the original. Hi, I'm MICHAELJOSH, your gadget matchmaker, and in this video, I've partnered with ASUS to take a look at the new Zenbook Pro 14 Duo OLED. Before we dive in, I figured I'd throw in an unboxing because we haven't really done one on the channel in a while. This, by the way, is a review device sent by ASUS for the purpose of this video. Retail packaging may be different depending on where you are in the world. Inside this box, there are two boxes. This one contains the Zenbook Pro 14 Duo OLED. Just pull on this tab to open the lid. Notice instead of the ASUS logo, ASUS has switched to their new monogram logo. It's subtle and sleek. Underneath, there's a small box containing a warranty card and user guides, and the ASUS Ergo Lift stand. Now, let's sidebar for a second. Ergo Lift is the name of a feature that you see on many ASUS laptops. In fact, this box design is a nod to it as well. So how this feature works is when you open up the lid of a Zenbook Pro, for example, it props the laptop on an angle, providing better airflow and just the right amount of lean for you to type comfortably. Unlike previous models, there no longer is an Ergo Lift hinge on the 2022 Zenbook Pro Duo, but ASUS bundles what it calls an Ergo Lift stand, an optional accessory that you attach with stickers. The Ergo Lift stand that came with last year's model was one big piece. This one, version 2.0, is two pieces, designed to take up less space and allow the bottom of your Zenbook Pro Duo to breathe a little better. You don't have to use them, but doing so provides an extra 7 degrees of tilt. Okay, back to our unboxing. Inside the second box, we'll find the ASUS Pen 2.0. Let's take a quick look. And finally, a 180-watt power adapter, which plugs into the power port at the back of the device. Since we're talking about ports, let's take a look at what's on this device. On the right-hand side, there's one USB-A port and two USB-C Thunderbolt 4 ports. On the left-hand side, audio combo jack for both mic and headphones. And on the back side, a full-sized HDMI 2.1, micro SD card reader, and a power port. Speaking of power, if you were wondering if you could power the device using one of the USB-C ports, the answer is yes, but there is a caveat. USB-C power delivery only supports up to 100 watts, and this machine, to be able to perform at max performance, requires much more power than that. Hence, it's bundled with a 180-watt charger with a specific or dedicated power port. All right, let's now dive into all the new features of the new Zenbook Pro 14 Duo OLED. It's a long name, so let's start with what's in the name. Notice, unlike previous iterations of the Zenbook Pro Duo, the number is 14 and not 15, which means you get a smaller chassis, roughly the same size as my non-Pro Zenbook Duo from last year. I personally like the size much better because it makes the laptop more portable. Despite the reduction in size, you still get more screen real estate, as ASUS has switched to a 16:10 aspect ratio instead of 16:9. While a widescreen 16:9 is the perfect aspect ratio for watching movies, I personally feel it's too cramped when you want to get work done. This tall aspect ratio means the display is not just wide enough, but tall enough to fit more text on a script, for example, that I might be working on, or more layers of a video I'm editing. As ASUS continues to make OLED displays a standard across its entire laptop portfolio, it comes as no surprise that the Zenbook Pro Duo has one too. OLED displays are better than traditional IPS displays because of their better contrast and richer colors. But not a lot of laptops use them as they are a bit pricier. This device has a 2.8K resolution, a 120Hz refresh rate, and a touchscreen. It's also a Pantone validated 100% DCI P3 cinema grade display with a 1,000,000:1 contrast ratio and a peak brightness of 550 nits, plus support for Dolby Vision HDR. Of course, what makes this Zenbook a Pro Duo is its second display. ASUS calls it the ScreenPad Plus. The ScreenPad Plus measures 12.7 inches diagonally and is 10% larger than last year's model. It also features a 32:10 aspect ratio and a 120Hz refresh rate. I really like that both displays now share the same 120Hz refresh rate, meaning when you transition or you switch between both displays, the experience is more consistent. Unlike the display, however, that is glossy, the ScreenPad Plus has an anti-glare matte coating, which ASUS says was etched onto the display. That matte finish is also designed to reduce fingerprints. So, what can you actually do on the ScreenPad Plus? My favorite use case remains the same from when I first reviewed the device: a browser on the main display, plus Slack, Telegram, and Spotify on the ScreenPad Plus. You can have up to 3 apps down there. And if you find a setup that you use often, you can save your configs so that they can all open at the press of a button. You can move apps between screens using your cursor or with a flick of a finger, or using View Max, you can open up apps and have them take up both displays for one continuous scroll. But perhaps the feature that I like the most is a tie-in with the ASUS ProArt Studio line. I don't know if you remember, but we recently did a roundup of our favorite ASUS laptops, and that video featured the ProArt Studio book. You can watch that video up here. That laptop had a physical dial. Well, on the ScreenPad Plus, you can display a virtual version of that dial, plus other knobs. It's called the Control Panel, and it comes with all sorts of sliders and dials for many frequently used creative applications like Adobe Lightroom, Photoshop, After Effects, and Premiere Pro. And if you wanted to, you can also customize these controls to best suit your workflow. Debuting on the new Zenbook Pro series is a mechanism by which the ScreenPad Plus is raised from the rest of the display. ASUS calls it AAS Ultra. And for you to appreciate this further, let's go back in time. On the original Zenbook Pro Duo, the ScreenPad Plus was built into the device and was only elevated slightly by the ErgoLift hinge. On last year's model, ASUS introduced the Aero Active System, or AAS, that elevated the ScreenPad Plus. This year's AAS Ultra mechanism raises the ScreenPad Plus even higher. More importantly, even if you adjust the tilt of the display, as you see I'm doing here, the ScreenPad Plus stays at the same angle, 12 degrees of tilt. Previously, on older models, the tilt was very much determined by the angle of the screen itself. Bundled with the Zenbook Pro Duo 14 is the ASUS Pen 2.0. Very briefly, it ships with 4 replaceable nibs. And depending on which one you choose, the friction will be different, so the feel will also be different, and you can kind of adjust based on your writing style. It charges via USB-C. Just lift this top part to reveal the port. There's a dedicated erase button, a right-click button, and this top button over here can be used as a clicker to jump to the next slide when, say, you're presenting. So you can also use the pen to scribble notes on either screens, down here on the ScreenPad Plus or on the main display. In order to meet the demands of the creative professional that this laptop is designed for, the Zenbook Pro 14 Duo OLED is packed with power. ASUS is promising close to 3x CPU and 3x GPU performance improvements versus its predecessor. That's a major leap in performance, and if you'd like to see some benchmarks, you should definitely check out my friend Tom the Tech Chaps video. It supports up to an Intel i9 12900H CPU and up to an NVIDIA RTX 3050 Ti graphics card. Alongside the boost in performance comes better thermal design also. The Zenbook Pro 14 Duo OLED features a new cooling system ASUS is calling ASUS Ice Cool Plus, with 97 curved blade fans, 2 8mm heat pipes, and a more powerful 12-volt fan engine. Previous models only had 49 blades, and 5-volt fans. On top of that, remember that AAS Ultra mechanism that we talked about earlier? Well, that also provides 38% better airflow. In layman's terms, better cooling is equal to better sustained performance, because laptops will tend to slow down as the insides get hotter. So for example, you're doing something really resource hungry like exporting a video and it's taking a long time, better cooling ensures that your computer can run at maximum power but stay cool for longer periods of time. And that was our ASUS Zenbook Pro 14 Duo OLED unboxing and hands-on. If you'd like to know about availability information and pricing, do check out your local ASUS store because pricing will differ from country to country, but we'll try to put a list up on GadgetMatch.com. If you like videos like this one, you know the drill, folks. Subscribe to this YouTube channel and hit that bell icon and the subscribe button both at the same time to make sure that you get notified as soon as we upload. Follow me on social media for all the behind-the-scenes fun stuff. And as always, make GadgetMatch.com your daily habit. Until the next video, I'm MICHAELJOSH. Thanks for dropping by.